Hi, everyone. This is Michele Graglia.
This is Marianne Hogan.
Hi, I'm Adrian McDonald.
I'm Katie Asmith.
Hi, this is Anthony Gasals.
Hi, my name is Meg Morgan.
Hey, it's Jordan Trove.
This is John Ray.
This is Ryan Van Duzer, and you are listening to the Gotta Run Racing Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Gotta Run Podcast.
I'm Jodi.
And I'm Norm, your hosts for this next 40 minutes or so. We just came back from Slovenia doing the UTVV race, and this episode's going to be the recap. But first, what's happening in the world of Gotta Run Racing?
Well, we're less than 2 weeks away from the Lost Treasure Trail race in Malmö. Registration is still open, so if you'd like to sign up, head on over to our website, GottaRunRacing.com, and hope to see you there.
Very good, very good. So, this is the recap of UTVV.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Why did you choose this race?
Well, I think it started after our chat with fellow Canadian Galen Reynolds in episode 81, where he actually lives in Slovenia with his family, and he was telling us about the races that he's done there, and it just sounded spectacular. So I looked up the Ultra Trail Vipava Valley. And of course, they have an awesome theme, which is based around an important battle that happened in the Roman period. It's got a gladiator theme. So it's based on the Battle of the Frigatus, which took place in 394.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You remember that year?
It was a good year.
The battle was fought between the army of the Eastern Emperor Theodosius and the army of the Western Roman ruler Eugenius.
Wow.
Theodosius was victorious, and the Roman Empire was united under one emperor for the last time in history. And the victory of Theodosius brought the final religious dominance of Christianity in Europe. So, not bad, not shabby, not too shabby for a theme of a race, I would say.
Wow. So we're going to be running over some fields of big time history.
Oh, absolutely. So much history. And then we saw an episode of The Amazing Race where they went to Slovenia. And that was sort of a sign to me that, hey, we're on the right track here, because it absolutely looked incredible. So green. The challenges were pretty cool. Of course, we're huge fans of Amazing Race. But just to let you guys in on a little secret about Slovenia, because honestly, I don't think it's a country that many people know that much about. And honestly, you're missing out. Everybody needs to go visit this place. It's absolutely gorgeous. It has a population of just over 2 million people. And in terms of square kilometers, it's only slightly larger than Lake Ontario, one of the Great Lakes, which for Canadians, we're used to driving, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours to go to cottage country on the weekend. Everything is so far. Everything's a flight if you want to go visit another part of Canada. You can't just drive there. So being on such a small scale was really appealing to us.
Yes. Also, it used to be part of Yugoslavia.
That's right.
Which the country itself is relatively young, 30 years old or so.
It was formed in 91, I believe. Yep.
But an incredibly old history.
Oh, yes.
And
some of the oldest.
And I don't even remember too much about that time when Yugoslavia broken up.
No.
Because I was just getting out of prison.
Oh, jeez.
No, seriously. I was in my early 20s and didn't know what was happening in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What else is about? Tell me more about Slovenia.
Did you know there's over 13,000 caves?
Nope.
Well, we happened to visit some of those, but not that many. It's also home to the famous Lipinzaner horses. They're the all-white horses. I think they do dressage. And, of course, its location in Europe is pretty incredible. You're an hour from Italy, an hour from Croatia. It's chock full of castles and churches and vineyards. The hiking's fantastic. And they have a serious amount of trail races. Really impressive. some that climb the highest peak, Mount Triglav, of course, Vipava Valley, etc., etc. So we decided we were going to chat with a local runner, Ande Sobochan, in our last episode, actually, just to get some intel on the race. And he was super informative and helpful and enthusiastic, of course, about his beautiful country.
Yes.
So we couldn't wait to get there.
Okay, so what is the race profile before we tell our listeners of what the hell we went through?
Hell in a beautiful place. So yeah, okay. So it was actually 62K, which, you know, when you go to sign up for a race and you're like, okay, it's 60K, I can do this. But you read that, you know, it may not exactly be 60K. It might be a little longer, but you block that out.
Yeah, but you know what, what we also block out is the elevation gain.
Yeah, I think my exact words, oh, it's only 2,400 meters. No problem. And where am I getting that? Where am I getting this false sense of I can handle 2,400 meters living in flatlands and training on the treadmill through the winter? Like, who am I?
So that's the thing. We're doing this in a day, but in order to get 2,400 meters, you have to run here for about a month in our training. True or false?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There you go.
You're right. I didn't understand what you meant at first, but now I do. In order to get that gain, you'd have to go out on several long runs.
Right.
Everyone who asked me about the profile, I'm like, well, it's not the Alps. So that was my exact words. It's not the Alps. Because all I was thinking about was, of course, the tour around Ultra Trail Mont Blanc last year and justifying in my brain that I'm not going to be climbing mountains. Okay, well, whatever. The longest climb was over 1,000 meters in about 10 kilometers, and that was up Mount Nanos. Then we had an 18K of downhill to look forward to, which again, we'll get to. In my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, going to climb this mountain, and then we're going to run this downhill, which I love downhill, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, 16-hour cutoff time.
Yeah.
Race started at 7 a.m. Obviously, we got to be done before 11.
And you were hoping to be done by dinner.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head, okay, 9 to 10 hours. This is manageable. Again, false sense of security, pulling that out of my ass. I don't know where I got that number, but in my brain, it made sense.
But when you said it, I thought, yeah, okay, let's go for it.
And thankfully, you were kind enough to say that you were going to run with me. Well,
I wanted to see this incredible performance that you're going to undertake.
Oh, listen, that's not fair. You were right there with me, coach, when I said 9 to 10 hours, okay?
Okay, and it's also a UTMB qualifier. If you want to gain some points to that, check out UTVV for that.
Right. So signed up for the race, I think back in the fall. And then, of course, we're following along the UTVV Instagram, which was extremely entertaining and very encouraging along the way. I really enjoyed that because it just kept keeping me on target, knowing, all right, April's going to come way quicker than we think, even though our winters are long. All right. So we get to Slovenia and we had a few days to explore the capital city of Ljubljana. And then we got to the Vipava Valley on the Thursday.
And we saw some white snow-capped mountains. Okay.
We did, yeah. And the closer we got to the Vipava Valley, the taller those mountains, which I was basically calling hills before we got there. Yeah, and of course, the weather was unseasonably cool. And it had snowed in those said mountains.
Okay. Now you got the gist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the race bib pickup.
Right. It was really well organized. We got our bib. We got our really nice tech t-shirt with the logo, the race branding. We got some goodies. There was a couple of fun games to play. And the I Feel Slovenia Tourist Board was there, as well as some other races were promoting themselves from Croatia, right?
Yeah, dude, there's some cool races happening in Croatia. Another destination race, or races, that is now on our bucket list, of course.
Of course.
Yes, but before that, we had a mandatory kit gear, right?
Oh, gear check.
Yeah.
Yes, we did have to do a gear check because, of course, they added to the mandatory gear because of the weather.
Yes, it was optional to have poles or gloves or a hat for our distance, but then it became mandatory.
Not the poles, but the gloves, the hat, the long pants became mandatory because of the weather at the top of Mount Nanos. And I am so grateful that, so backtrack a sec. We travel with carry-on only, which means we can't bring poles. So when we got to Ljubljana, I said to you, let's see how much a set of poles are because I really think I'm going to need these after loving having them in France. Honestly, I used them the entire time. Uphill, downhill, saved me.
Yeah.
So we got a really cheap pair at Decathlon and man, oh man, am I glad I had those. I guess it depends on the type of runner that you are, but I would say this is a good race to have poles in.
And this race also falls on their national holiday.
Right, which at this time of year, they actually have 2 holidays back to back. So Saturday, Sunday was a national holiday, and then Wednesday, Thursday was Labor Day. So a lot of Slovenians were on vacation.
Mm-hmm. So we went back Friday night to cheer on the 100 milers. That's when their race starts. And we met Anže, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
And this is an interesting start line because they have gladiators and they have some guy on a gladiator on a horse that leads them out.
And I think it was to the Gladiator movie theme too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because when I posted our story and I chose that song, I'm pretty sure which would make sense. Obviously, they would pick the Gladiator theme. So that was pretty cool. It really added to the atmosphere. And because it was a national holiday, people were out, drinking around the start line and gathering with friends, and there were lots of kids and stuff. It was fun.
The town square was really buzzing.
Sure was.
Very good.
So we went back to our hotel and we had to be up at the start line for 7 a.m.
on the Saturday. How were you feeling at the start line? How did all this training?
Well, I wasn't feeling 100% because I think we mentioned at some point I did pull a calf muscle in March, which kind of screwed up my training, and I didn't get in my longest long runs that were planned. So I was feeling a little hesitant, although I didn't have pain. So I was happy about that. But I was worried for how my endurance was going to be. But other than that, let's do this.
All right, let's go. So we're ready. So the gun goes off and the first 5K, tell us what happened.
Oh, it was beautiful. We ran through the town, Ajdovskavina, again, butchering that. So it was pretty flat. And then what about the 5K mark? We got to our first small climb, which was only about 300 meters. Just getting warmed up.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say that for sure.
And then we ran through our area where our Airbnb was.
Before we got to the B&B, we had hiked up the night before to see the 100 milers come through. And there was a tiny, tiny church with bell tower, I guess you would call it.
Yep.
And there was a rope leading right to the ground with the bell. And we didn't ring it because we thought, no, we're not going to ring this in case it means some kind of warning or whatever. But then as we were approaching this area, we could hear people were ringing the bell. So I was so excited because I'm like, okay, now's the time to ring this bell. So I jumped on it and it was pretty hilarious. You can see it in the video. I'm not going to say anything else, but we both got a chance to ring the bell. And then we started to go downhill through so many vineyards.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
They were beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous and flat for the most part.
Yeah.
And then we got to our first aid station at about 13K, I believe. What did you think of that aid station?
Pretty much had everything what we needed.
Yeah, typical fare, I would say.
And these aid stations were far apart from what we're used to here in North America.
Yes, they were.
So to not see an aid station for the first 13K, I guess it took us over 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got there, we filled up and we were prepared to know that we're not going to be there for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I think I carried more in this race than I've carried in terms of gels and fluids and stuff.
Yeah.
So at least we were prepared. And it was nice in that first 2 hours because we were surrounded by a lot of runners too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were making conversation when you had the GoPro out with runners from all around the world, which was really cool.
But at this aid station, what did they have? They had bread
with Nutella,
yeah. Jams,
lots
chocolates,
of fruit, which I was going for. Yeah, it was good.
Yep.
Well stocked. Yeah.
So after the aid station, the first climb started around 18K.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did it take us to get to the top of this climb? Do you remember?
Hey guys, if you like what you're hearing so far, then check this out. Calling all trail runners to come on out to Mansfield, Ontario this May. The Lost Treasure Trail Race features both a 5 and 10K on the beautiful trails of the Mansfield Outdoor Center. As the story goes, the American outlaw Jesse James buried a barrel full of gold coins stolen from a train on his relative's property somewhere in the hills of Mulmer. You'll earn your very own coin medal when you cross the finish line. Registration is now open. For more info, go to GottaRunRacing.com. Now back to Jodi and Norm.
Probably about an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half for the first serious climb. And then at the top was this gorgeous, small little church, St. Servo. Is that right?
Servo? Yeah.
Built in the 16th century. And I think I've stopped counting churches at that point because every small little town we went through had about 4 churches.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do some research how many churches there are in Slovenia. And there's over 3,000.
No way.
Yes. And fun fact, Jamaica holds the Guinness Book World Records for the most churches per square mile with 1,600.
That's crazy.
So if you love churches and an old history of churches, Slovenia is the place to be.
You got it. Yeah, that first serious climb was pretty steep from what I remember.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the more steeper sections.
But the whole time, we're doing pretty good with the weather.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And then we got to another aid station at the bottom of that.
And this is what really kind of shocked us, is that we got into the aid station and the sweeper was already there.
Yes.
So we're like, wait a minute. Shouldn't the sweeper be behind us?
But she wasn't actually the sweeper for that.
I think she was sweeping probably the 30K.
Oh, maybe the other distance.
Yeah, the other distance. And so we're confused there.
Yeah, and they said, no, don't worry. You're not the last. You're not the last. That's all we needed to hear. We got the hell out of there.
That was funny. Yeah. So then we had to really fill up on that aid station because here comes the serious climb of the day, which is Mount Nanos.
Mount Nanos.
Yeah.
1,200 meter climb in about 10K. And when we started it, we were in a great mood. I remember I took a picture, sent it to my sister. I'm like, look at us. Yay. And no sooner did I send that picture that it started raining.
And it rained and rained and rained. And it was cold, gray, some hail. It was a brutal straight up. And it's too bad because I'm sure the views would have been spectacular.
Well, according to the race video, the views are spectacular, but we didn't see jack all.
It was so gray and hazy, and we couldn't really see our hand in front of our face.
No, it was very foggy and windy because the rain was coming at us sideways at one point.
Yeah.
And we knew that the aid station was at the top, but you couldn't really see the top. We thought we were at the top at one point. It was like a false summit. And then, oh no, you're not at the top. So I just put my head down, honestly. I just put my head down and kept moving because we're going to get there eventually.
Right. And then during this 10K climb, we were leapfrogging this guy who was just smoking. Not smoking as in running fast, but actually smoking.
Yeah, he took a couple smoke breaks.
as he's climbing, but yet he's in front of it. What made him fall behind was his having to take a smoke break. And then he would just pass us.
And the funniest was when he popped out of that one section with the cigarette in his hand.
Mm.
And I said to you, are you getting this on video?
Yeah, of course, I have to. You never see this. But hey, when in Europe.
When in Europe, anything can happen.
And then we saw that poor guy slumped over a log. And we said, hey, are you all right? He goes, yeah, I'm from the Netherlands.
This is very hilly for me. There's no hills in the Netherlands.
No.
He was actually the second person to tell us that.
Yes.
Remember?
That's right. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So,
not much talking going on that climb, I gotta say.
all I can say is the only way to describe this is you got to see the video coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. And I did play music during this section to try to keep my mind off it. And then I think my battery ran out because it was too cold.
Mm.
But as far as getting to the top,
Well, we didn't know we were there.
no, literally.
We just stumbled upon this tower.
And then there was a kid standing there. And I'm looking at him like, where the heck did you come from? And I think I said to him, is this the aid station? And he's like, yeah, follow me. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe it though, but because if it was a clear day, we would have seen that tower
Oh,
way back,
Exactly.
5-6K back.
exactly. We really missed some views up.
Ah.
I know we did. I know we
I,
did.
if that kid wasn't there, I would have tripped over him.
What?
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. I like it though. So yeah, pretty happy to get to that aid station. And I went inside to warm up a little bit because, of course, everything was wet. I was wearing these gloves, soaking wet, trying to maneuver poles. Come on in, have some soup, have some tea, whatever. There were these two girls there trying to warm up. And one of them was saying to me that she didn't think they were going to carry on. And I was trying to talk them out of it. I said, listen, we're at the top. This is the worst it's going to be. It's going to get better. As soon as we go down, it's going to get better. She's like, I know, but her friend was shivering. And, once you're at that point.
This is where you and I kind of separated because I was filling everything up. But had I known that, oh my God, I would have grabbed them both.
I was
under
trying.
my arms and just say, let's go.
Yeah, I know. Well, one of them I think was willing, but the other one was she was done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was done. I felt bad for them.
To do a climb like that and then you're done, get down and decide if you're done.
Exactly. Because that's my mentality was every step we take down is going to feel better than.
Yeah, you'll be warmer.
Yep.
Nevertheless, just before we left that aid, you got a little couple shots of your favorite drink there.
Well, it wasn't Fireball, but it was Jameson whiskey, which is pretty ironic. But I think it was like a last minute offer. The guy saw our faces and he's like, do you want some whiskey? We're like, heck yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Bring us the whiskey.
Yeah.
So that helped a little bit to warm us up. And we got out of there. I think we got out of there pretty quickly, considering, yeah. We had some hot soup that was waiting for us and then gone. Yeah.
But then climbing on the backside, it was pretty much snow in the beginning.
Right.
And then it did kind of get warmer. And then we were stuck on trails that have been completely destroyed before us.
Mm-hmm.
Muddy, rocky, rooty, slippery. And this is the point where you thought you'd be running.
Yeah. This is the part that I was most looking forward to. I could barely walk in some sections, let alone run.
Yeah, you thought this was going to be free flowing with your hair blowing in the wind.
I did. I don't know why I don't realize after so many times being on a mountain that the downhills are rocky and slippery and crap. It's not like running here downhill. So...
Well, nevertheless, we got it done. It took us 4 hours to get down
to do 18K.
Mount Nanos.
That felt like forever.
And we stopped to take care of some of your blisters.
We did because All of a sudden, my big toes were like, oh no, every step hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking down, you can see where you're going to go.
Yeah, you know you need to get down to that town.
That's right.
And you know it's at least another hour.
Yes. And I'm like, I know I'm getting a blister because my feet were soaked.
Yes.
For how long?
Yes.
So thank you for saying let's deal with your blister, because I had those awesome polysporin blister pads. What a difference.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't completely take it away, but man, that really helped. So thanks, babe.
So are you saying that you would, if you were by yourself, you would have just kept trudging through?
I probably would have, just out of sheer, like, don't stop, just keep going.
I know, but then you're just creating more problems.
You are, and I know better, but it is really hard to stop, right?
I know, but...
Especially because I had to sit down on a rock.
Yes.
And then get back up again, which didn't feel great.
Okay, so moving on. We finally got to the bottom of Mount Nanos into a town. I don't know the name of it, but that was the last aid station that we again fueled up, and we left pretty quick again because we wanted to somehow get as much done before dark, and we had one more climb in us that's coming.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention we only had one headlamp because we thought...
Because you thought that...
Because I thought, no. You said we only need one headlamp.
No.
Yes.
I packed two, and you said, well, I think just we don't need it. So I said, well, I'm going to just take one just in case.
Yeah, okay. Maybe, no.
Something like that.
Something like, not like that. But anyways.
So luckily, anyways, we'll get to the headlamp coming up. But again, we're running through a small town, beautiful, 10 churches in it, and vineyards everywhere before our last climb.
Before the last climb, which we were kind of guessing because we sort of knew where we were at that point.
Yeah.
But it was hard to tell how we were getting through. And then, of course, the climb's right in front of you. But we knew it wasn't as big or as steep as the previous, so let's get a move on.
Right. It was basically how our first climb was, but then now we're 10 hours in, tired.
Yes.
And it was nice that just before the climb, there was one more aid that we didn't know. We were kind of surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a surprise aid station.
So that's good. And then I guess they decided to put it in because of the weather.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go. We're at the 5th aid station, fueling up, starting our climb. And we knew we had to get as much done in before it got dark.
Yes.
So let's at least get to the top before it gets dark.
Right.
Okay.
Which I think we did.
Yeah, we did. It was still dusk. You still can see your footing.
Right.
You know that darkness and light kind of thing. It's through the trees. So we can still kind of see it. And I didn't actually take out the light until we were past the top.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you kept trying to get me to do a shuffle run, which I was doing, but oh my God, I think I felt like I could walk faster than I was trying to do this shuffle thing, but...
Well, that's when using your poles just to walk is efficient.
Yeah, it was.
And you got to get your hips moving.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because those two ladies that passed us, they were very efficient hikers.
Oh my gosh. They passed us like we were standing still.
And they were just speed hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were. So
that's something we need to work on in the future.
Which we say every time we come back from Europe, and hello.
Hello. Yes.
So it did get very dark.
Yeah.
But we were managing with the one headlamp, and we came back into Ajdel Fuskina, and we thought we could hear the music of the finish line. But
oh, yeah.
Remember that?
It was that fake town that they built.
They built it from the time we started?
The complete fake town with fake music that we thought was the finish. And then we're running past this town going, what?
Yeah, that was a psych.
Yeah. Then back into the forest. And
into the forest.
Oh.
And then more down
to another town.
Which was the right town.
Yeah.
And we crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
Just before 10 o'clock, which was about 14 and a half hours. The finish line was jamming. There was a band playing. People were drinking beer.
Yeah, because it was their holiday.
That's right.
So everybody's out at 10 o'clock. Still good. Very good.
But not us. We were too tired to enjoy it. It was obviously colder. The hot meal was in the arena where we had the bib pickup, so we didn't bother going. We went straight back to the hotel and ate leftover pasta and crashed.
So, final thoughts overall. Would you recommend this race?
Of course I would recommend this race. Of course I would.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. Great organization. Stunning views.
It's a great way to see Slovenia, at least a little corner of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. And I'd like to do another race there.
Yeah, perhaps the northern part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. But overall, our trip was fantastic.
Yeah.
We went to another area not too far outside of where the race was. And we saw some amazing castles. We saw some caves. We did some hiking.
We went by the coast of the...
Yes, we went to Isola, which is near Piran, and you can see...
Italy and Croatia from the distance.
That's right. We went to a view where you could see both 3 countries in one view.
Wow.
Which to us is pretty incredible because that doesn't happen here.
Yeah, I could barely see Scarborough from here.
Oh dear. Anyways, it was a fantastic trip, fantastic race.
And you were kind of beating yourself at the end saying, oh, I wish I could have done better. Hello? How did the treadmill climbing help you on this race?
I know. I still feel that way, but...
You have to take account of the training that we have, and then now we're thrown into ridiculousness.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it's my second longest race in terms of time.
Yes.
Ever. So time on feet, et cetera, et cetera.
And what was your longest run to date before you went to this race?
Oh, gosh. 3 hours?
Really?
3:15?
I didn't think it was that.
I think I got maybe 1 in.
Wow.
I know, which is not enough. And again, hate showing up to a race unprepared. However...
But I just looked at it like, hey, let's just enjoy this time together, and at the end we're still married.
No, exactly. It was all that it could have been, and I shouldn't have had that expectation of being
just enjoy the day.
Yeah. And we did, and we loved it, and you're gonna make a video, right?
That's right. Video coming soon, so if you want to check it out, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you won't miss it. And if you like this episode, please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Bye.